Having already prepped my December album, I just get to jump into being inspired by the season to make. And that's exactly what I want to share with you guys today in this video. Hi, I'm Jamie Page, and I have finished all the pages to my storied December album. I actually taught this class this year, and it is serving me so well to already be just ready to fill in. And I am doing just that, and I'm just thrilled. It has been a long time since I've had a book just at the ready with the stories that I want to tell. And one of the things I knew I was going to want to add to my book, it already being ready to go, were some art journal pages. And so this is what's on my mind today, starting with some mixed media paper. I have added some water to it, and I'm actually going to have to come back and add a little bit of water to it in a minute. I'm doing two things here. I'm talking to you, and I'm trying to add some things here onto this glass mat at the same time. I'm doing my best. So a little bit of evergreen bough, mainly because I can't find my Distress Oxide. I am in the midst of a studio redo here, and it's just not to be found right now. So I'm going to go with the stain and then some speckled egg. I'm going to add some water. I actually don't want a lot of color. I actually just want just a bit. How many times can I say just? I am only going to go for a bit of this kind of a vibe, whatever we want to call this. I'm not sure. I have no aversion to adding color to my pages. This time though, I knew I wanted to go really soft with the ink. And so I'm starting off with that. I'm going to add some water down here again. I'm going to pick up some more of the evergreen bough. And, oh, you know what? What I'm going to do now is take this off camera and dry it just like it is. All right, so I have obviously dried that and left it. This is pretty bare minimum. Now, just based on the light that we're seeing right now, it is a very cold gray day here. And so what I'm seeing on the screen is not quite as intense as what I'm seeing right here on the actual page. And so, as always, something I love to encourage, make the coloration work for you if you're trying this at home. Obviously, not everyone's using the same Christmas colors as I am. So make those things work for you as best as you can. I'm going to come in here now and use this Bundled Sage Distress Spritz. And it needs a good shake. There's a lot of pigment here at the bottom, and it needs to get... Well, it's cleared up pretty good. It really needs to get integrated into all of the spritz. I'm going to work on up here. I'm going to come down here in a minute, but I don't quite went down here yet. So let me see what that looks like. Probably a little darker than I wanted, so I'm going to go a little lighter down here. Actually, I need to lift, don't I? Because my mixed media paper is a little bigger than my stencil. So I'm actually going to come in here and edit a little bit because I can. I have some open time. And then I'm going to wonder if I actually want it to be like this, and I think I do. Okay, I love that down there. I'm going to come up here again though, because I still have my top left corner because I just changed my mind as to where I want that to live. And I'm just going to carefully lay this down. I'm tempted to flip this over and use this as some coloration on my paper, but I won't. It's an option. Love having all these options. And no matter what we do in the paper world, we just always have good options, and that is an option that we could utilize. I'm going to go with one spritz this time through the stencil. And probably still a little heavier than I would have liked, but I'm just going to own it. Just going to own it. That's what I do. Okay, I'm going to clean up this mat and then we'll continue on. Now, something you can do if you just did like me and you sprayed kind of a little heavier than you wanted to is you can come in with your sprayer and add a bit of spray and pick that coloration up. And look how blended that looks in there. And I'm going to do the same thing down here as well. Just going to do one spritz at a time because I don't want to go crazy. And then I get just pick that up. And while it doesn't completely erase, and nor would I want it to, it doesn't completely erase the stenciled spritz, it definitely blends it. And I think is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to do a little bit more here. Oops, I missed my spray. There we go. And just go a little bit at a time. Don't try to edit a whole area if this is something that you find that maybe you want to do. Don't think that the whole piece, number one, don't think the whole piece is ruined. Just go back and edit with these distress sprays that are water soluble. See, now I'm back to the direction I was earlier. Because I kind of like how this little thing is happening here. So don't be discouraged. Go back and practice with your water and edit these things out a little bit and see how it works out for you. At this point, I'm going to do one of the things I love to do, and that is to add in some ink detail. And we can use any ink color on this, from Bundled Sage to Evergreen Bough to Speckled Egg. I'm going to use the Evergreen Bough Distress Oxide, but I'm going to press off first and then come in because I only want that sort of detailing happening. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to come up from the bottom edge to add some more. All right, and again, even a black would be appropriate if you're looking for some colorways here. So I'm probably going to just absolutely mimic what I just did, because I do that a lot. I think that's beautiful. I'm going to do it again, but actually instead of mimicking, I'm going to come in here on this edge and start bringing down some of the, oops, and see that's a little hot right there for me. So we can just kind of give it a bit of a blend. Okay. And, you know, I've got some things happening here in my tray. So if I decide later on that, oh, all I can see is that little script there, which sometimes I don't actually do that, but sometimes I do. You know, something like this could be a small detail there. A sentiment could come in here. I am kind of focused on joy right now, so I have joy to the world. So that could be something that goes on the edge right there as well. So just keep that in mind as well. Cover up an error. Cover up something that you weren't exactly hoping to happen, and you'll be good. Now, I think this is a pretty simple background for me, and I think I'm going to go ahead. And keep it as such. Okay? I know I keep kind of fiddling with it. I do that, and I hope you do that as well. I hope you just kind of fiddle, you look at it, you play with it, you think about it. Now, there is this die set. Let me get the whole set. Called Ornament from Arden Creative. And there's quite a few of this ornament size. I took this die and I cut some of the Season of Joy from the... I use, what am I saying, Jay? What are you saying? It is a question. I took the die and I'm contemplating, because here's what I did. I cut out some of the 6x8 paper with this die, but I'm contemplating whether I pop this up on here and then start to cluster on top of it. That is what I'm contemplating. If you're wondering, what is she doing? Why is she taking her time? What is going on here? I have some bits and pieces. Kind of the story of this season right now. The story of bits and pieces. The story of just the month of just making things work to the best of their ability. a season of taking some unfinished situations and just making them the best they can be. That is life. For that is what life is made of, right? Maybe that is why we love to craft. I think I like that. I think I love this little remnant here, which needs to be popped up. So the 1/8 foam is my friend here, but I am going to pop this up. I'm going to do a lot of popping up here. Can I just tear that? Yes, I can. And yes, I can. So let's now set this in place just about the center of our page. And can I tell you a secret? This is not at all the direction I thought this page was going to go in. I have rub-ons here to the side, and I was going to bring some rub-ons in, and I'm going to save that for the next video in this series, because I decided it was going to kind of contrast a little too much with the stenciling that I had done, and that's okay. I mean, it's not a negative. Rather, it's just some decision making in the midst. And so it's a good idea. I preach gathering the items in your stash and having them at the ready. I'm going to add actually one more of those to this, because you never know where something's going to go, and you don't want to have to be like, oh, you know what this really needs? I literally have stencils surrounding me, stamps surrounding me, dies surrounding me, a little tray of some extra elements that I'm not sure I'm even going to use them all, but they're here. So what would you do with this joy to the world? Do you think it needs to go up here? Do we need to bring the star up here? And then add some botanical. See, I don't hate that. I'm not hating it. She's not hating it. There we go. I think that's the direction we're going to go in. And I think that joy to the world is going to go up there. And there's two reasons for putting it up here. I do want to cover up my little extra inky part. And I just want to go about the cluster a little differently. I tend to sort of have a formula in which I follow with clustering items together. And this time I want the sentiment just to kind of float. And I'm good with that. And part of me wonders if this should be a different paper. I did in fact grab a darker pattern paper from the 6x8 paper, just some scraps I had. I like it better. I like the pop, the contrast, and it's not quite the same green as my little tidbit there. And just giving it some grunge, some distress there on the edges, and looking for my foam adhesive. There we go. It's right here. It's right where I put it. Every time, right? Every time. Not only did I make this star, which is also from that ornament die, not only did I make it a bit darker. I hate to cover up this script. I am just a fool for this scripty thing. You can still see it. I want to lift its beams. I love the star. It's absolutely gorgeous. Make sure it's even there. I think so. But I also cut some of the smaller stars that I'm going to want to actually probably, let me get my tweezers. I think I'm going to need to hot glue these very sweet and delicate pieces here. So I think I'll do one here, actually. I think I want one there. And I am trying to keep it sort of perpendicular to this other one. It could go any direction, right? Oops, let's throw stuff around here. But I don't know. I can be really angular. So I'm just going to continue to be that way. Let's get this one here. And put it, I'm actually going to bring it down here, just kind of drawing the eye through the page. I've got some elements here, and I like this whole, let's just come down a little bit. And even though I have some texture here, I'm going to come back in here with some rub-ons in a moment. Then I thought still, and I have my, do you see my holly berry? Because I don't. But let's grab this and put it in place. I like the idea of the botanical on the star a lot. And I'm going to keep my eyes open for the holly berry that is around here. Whoops, we're moving that a little too soon. Get that back in place there. I like to hold it kind of hovering above where I want it to be adhered. So we'll just let that live right now. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, I'm looking here at, I have another Joy to the World, but I also have Christmas. Then I'm going to cut out the Christmas. I'm going to need my tweezers for this, because this is tiny. I don't want to take the chance of touching the Christmas with my fingers. Thus, the craft tweezers. I'm going to turn this, I'm going to set this in place. I'm going to tuck it just in there, just as even as I can get it without covering up behind the star. I like that a lot. I love to just get these little small tiny phrases into places. They have nice impact, even though so small. Okay, I paused that video and I waited for today, where I'm looking out at an absolute winter wonderland with blue skies. It's just literally Colorado at its best right now. It's cold. I already went for a walk this morning. It was lovely, but we have such better light, which I'm thankful for. And I wanted to come in here and actually finish this when we had some good light. So if you're wondering why everything looks different, that would be why. Okay, I decided, while I am very much in love with what's happening here, I wanted to finish a couple of things. Well, I want to finish one thing up, and I have this twinkle stencil. Any stencil will do for this. I have this texture paste called Sparkle, and it looks a little kind of, might be something in there. No, it looks a little grayish, but when it dries, it just dries sparkle. I know, isn't that lovely? So I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir here. It's probably been a year since I've used it last. I don't know. We should probably pull our sparkle out more often and not just during the holiday months. But I'll tell you, I'm here for the sparkle during this time of year when it does get, I mean, it's literally the darkest time of year, right? If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to just carefully, I think I'll tack this up here. I know, I kind of did things differently. Go ahead and put in some things on here. But the thing with the art journal, and I may have already alluded to this, is I can have a plan and then something sort of strikes me that I want to add to my page, and it's not necessarily something that I can organize and completely plan, and I'm actually okay with that. That's not really my personality, but when it comes to this kind of work, I just kind of give into it. And so here I already have a sentiment sitting here, and then I'm going to come in and add some more things on top of it by way of texture. It's okay. All things are work-outable. All things are figure-outable. So I'm just going to actually grab another magnet here and help my stencil stay in place. And that primarily because my paper is a little wonky, and we will come in here in a minute and we will make that lay flat on the paper in which I'm going to want it to lay flat on after the texture paste dries. So kind of in this situation, less is more. I got a little extra goopy there, so I'm trying to make up for that here. So I think that looks good. Remove the magnets carefully and lift this off the page carefully. So you should be able to see that pretty good there. It will dry nicely though, okay? And again, I'm a fan of just layering up these corners. Maybe I need to break out and layer up in some other places perhaps, but I didn't in this incident. Okay, I'm gonna lay this here and come in here as best I can. I went ahead and popped on that ornament die cut, but I think we'll be okay. You know, it's just sparkle. If it gets where it's not supposed to, what's the worst thing? Just something else is sparkling. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I have decided I say this, and I don't know if I'm really actually like this, but I like to say it, so hopefully I'll just kind of fall in line here. I like to say that I don't overthink these things. I'm trying not to overthink these things. And we can be good triers, can't we? Okay. So same thing, just going to carefully remove everything. And we're going to let that dry now. So I talked earlier about helping this be flat, and this is not rocket science by any means. I have a piece of chipboard here, and it's the same size as the mixed media paper here, the 6x8. And I'm just grabbing this really super wide adhesive because it covers a lot of area. And I like that. So, and for right now, I'm going to leave the back of this uncovered. Okay, so right now we're just worried about how are we going to utilize this particular art journal page. And I'm going to put it into my storied December book for many reasons. One of them is that this particular page for me, because I did go with the stars and the joy, it is very much an answer to what my Advent has been this first week of Advent. Yes, I'm kind of doing this in real time. I'm like getting this recorded and uploaded pretty quick. It's just the seasonal maker in me. I'm just a seasonal maker. And so this is happening in the midst of the weeks of December. Okay, so again, this doesn't have to be this big of adhesive. I just might be a little bit of overkill here. I don't know why, but it's just how it's happening. We're not questioning it. We are learning to just, things happen, things occur, okay, and walking away. That's what we're doing there with my big, huge adhesive roll. Okay, just setting those things aside there. And then carefully, I can always trim this up, of course, if I need to, but I'm just going to match my corner up and just as carefully as possible, get this lined up with the chipboard. And if I need to sand it, if I need to ink it, I can do that, of course, which will probably actually make me happy to come back in here with some ink. I'm not going to be hating that time at all. So that's my answer to then flattening out my warped art journal page. I'm being kind of precautious here because precautious, I'm not sure that's a word. Yeah, I need to trim this up a little bit over here. And I need to trim it up a little bit there, and I will do that. But I'm just being careful because my texture paste is still kind of drying just a bit. So what I'm going to do now is because I'm going to pop this right into the binder. I'm not going to add any kind of extension to it. Just going to add it just like it is. And we'll see if I do that going forward as I make other pages for my story December, if I'm going to go just right in there like that, or if I want it to be matted better. Either way is an option. Neither way is right. Neither way is wrong. And I'm going to go with the 1/8 inch here and punch my hole in. Goes right through all that chipboard and all that paper beautifully. Let's see if it goes through here since I already have, oh yeah, we're getting it right in there. Perfect. Perfecto. And like I said, not worried about this right now. I have thoughts and designs on that, but that will happen at another time. Okay, you're gonna get a little sneak here of what's happening inside of my story December as I have things and start to fill in, but a lot of this is exclusive content for those who are in the classroom. Classroom is still completely open and will be. It's not a closed classroom by any means. So I love this for many reasons. Let me go ahead and talk about some design features here. So got some busy photos going on here They're not terribly thematic. It's just snapshots that I wanted to have in this book. So to have something over here that's not crazy busy, I don't feel like this is crazy busy. I feel like this is actually really understated. But to still have this little divider here before we get into a really kind of more layered page makes me kind of happy. And like I said, I have designs for this. That's going to happen in a little bit. But I love adding these pages to Story December. I love it. I think you're going to see in the new year a lot more art journaling from the Jamie Pate. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for putting up with that real funky light. I hope you're able to see how really well this turned out and the beauty of all the layers that are coming through. And I hope you'll try it as well. Tag me up if you do. All of the supplies are linked below. Be sure to follow. Be sure to give us a like. See you in the next video.